Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 bot AI cast. We have got ourselves what should be a good one here. It is a bot author recommended game. So someone else looked at this, thought, that looks pretty cool. And so we are gonna see how cool it is indeed. In the top left, we have got Eris, the red Zerg. You guys, if you follow the bot scene, are familiar with this bot, as it is the best bot. And in the bottom right, taking on Eris, it's going to be Phantom Test, a blue Zerg bot test, presumably with a couple tweaks here and there. Somebody's test thing, anyway. And so a ZVZ between these two. I believe there is going to be a bit of LING shenanigans. That's the one description that was given for the match, and so we'll keep an eye out for that. And as the spawning pool finishes up, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to go ahead, slap that like button if you haven't already. This community is the best as far as doing that. We have an incredible ratio on that video, on most of these videos, thanks to you guys. So give that a click, leave a comment down below that says more bots, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and consider becoming a YouTube member. If you want to support the channel, we have LINGs on the way out already for Phantom Test. There is gas being mined, so going to see speed getting researched, all the while Eris is actually going for a fast 3 hatchery. This is one of the signature things of Eris, is how quickly it expands. This could leave it a little bit vulnerable to some aggression here. I imagine when it sees these LINGs, it's going to cancel one of these hatcheries right away. LING speed does start up for Phantom Test, so it's freeing up all the resources it can now that it's done mining that gas. We see tag versus LING rush, so the bot author has specifically programmed a reaction to this, as Phantom Test is now setting to work on the natural base hatchery. Then we have got metabolic boost on the way already. Eris just mining gas to get its own speed started up, so it will not be without speed in the long run. However, it's having to pull drones against all these LINGs, and this is a lot of LINGs. There's good micro so far on both sides, and if that's the case, that doesn't look too well for the drones. Eris is just trying to buy time so it can get out all of its own LINGs. It's got the higher production, seeing as how it's got the extra hatchery done now. A queen is out, and it looks like that Eris has defended against these Zerglings and is doing just a-okay. Now, both these bots have finished mining their gas, so there's going to be no Baneling nest. That's not something we really see in ZVZ, bot versus bot matches, is Banelings, just due to, of course, the AI micro. And so with Eris seemingly holding on against this, I think it's going to be in a great spot, as it's got a big worker lead. 20-12, that is not a good count for Phantom Test, so we'll see if it can squeeze out some drones during all this or get some damage done. Otherwise the upstart will be in a lot of trouble here. These LINGs are microing well against Eris. However, Eris's own LINGs are about to finish up their LING speed, so they'll be able to potentially chase these away and not just be danced around. Both LINGs now have speed. We see a crazy amount of APM as each of these LINGs are getting individually microed. This is just ridiculous. Look at the fanning out that those LINGs do individually. I guess trying to set up for a good surround or something like that. As these two LINGs are now, as these two groups of LINGs are now running back and forth, it looks like there's a lot of biting getting done by Eris's LINGs. So managing to bruise up Phantom Test LINGs. Phantom Test afraid to take this engagement as these LINGs just run on in or run on out, rinse and repeat. However, the trades are not looking too darn good. 16 LINGs have died for Phantom Test, only 2 for Eris, and the queens are just gonna seemingly keep that being the trend, as yeah, Phantom Test dives in, dives out. Too many queens there for it. I'm almost getting dizzy starting to watch this. However, the LING count is growing on both sides. Phantom Test has squeezed out a few drones behind this, so there is the potential for it to macro out of this a little bit. It's down on the LING count, maybe not too much to overcome the defender's advantage. If it keeps just bleeding out these LINGs, that will be problematic, though. Both bots are squeezing out drones. Eris squeezing out a few more. Gonna try and maintain that worker lead. Lings for Phantom Test are running in and out. We've seen another 8 Lings go down in these constant engagements, and Phantom Test, yeah, is almost a little bit broken here. However, it does get a surround on the Queen, almost kills it off, then gets chased away. Well, not almost kills it off, gets it down to half HP. There is also potential for transfuses, and the Ling numbers for Eris are looking much, much better here for the red bot, as Phantom Test just keeps getting pushed away as the Ling count grows on both sides. It's currently 62 to 48, which is not good for Phantom Test. It is still making a few more drones, so there's the potential this game goes on. It is getting to the point, though, that I think a Baneling would help on either side here, because I don't even know if bots can micro this many Lings against some Banelings. Lings are trying to grab Queens for Phantom Test. It's just not happening, though. It's making more and more Lings. Eris is squeezing out an expansion behind this, making some more drones and Queens, so not Lings. So there is potential for Phantom Test to get something done, as this game is just looking a little bit ridiculous here at this point, as these Lings are now getting chased away. As, yeah, in goes Phantom Test, out goes Phantom Test. Oh my gosh, this is just ridiculous. And it's one of these things, guys. These bot games are being played out again and again, all day, every day on the SC2 AI ladder. So right now there's bots that are in this exact situation, and oh my gosh, this is actually making my head explode watching this. Now, yeah, I think this is just gonna be a slow death here. It's 73 dead Lings for Phantom Test. 73. And yeah, I think that is gonna just be an underwhelming end for these two bots. I'm gonna speed this up a little bit here as we see the Lings go in, Lings go out, but there's big losses for Phantom Test, and it's not getting any better as it makes more and 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 more Lings. And Eris really isn't losing anything during all this. It's lost 2 more Lings, whereas Phantom Test has now lost over 100. And the Ling count is currently 102 to 72. There's a bit of an engagement. I think a Queen almost got grabbed there, but there was a transfuse going down, and it's like Phantom Test is now being pushed back by Eris. However, then Eris retreats, and Phantom Test goes on in. And these are bot games, ladies and gentlemen, as Phantom Test is now falling behind in the worker count by quite a bit. Eris is getting burrow on its Lings. I'm not sure how significant that will be. Phantom Test is getting pushed back now, though, as the Lings go in, the Lings go out. That's the moral of the story here. Lings are now fanning on out, tacking on in. Is Eris at least losing a few more? No, Eris has not lost any more Lings. Just goes to show that being the retreating Zerg is not the good one. And the bot author did actually link 2 games here, so he said one was like the opposite. So I imagine that in the other game, I don't think I'm going to cast it, to be honest. I think in the other game it's probably the exact opposite, in which Eris kind of gets wrecked, or has the same thing happen. If the bots have similar micro behavior, the defender could be the one in trouble. Looks like there is a bit of skirmishing going on here, back and forth. Eris losing a few Lings, but Phantom Test losing more and more. Eris is up to 77 drones amidst all this. Phantom Test not making anything successfully, really, not making any headway, as it's now bleeding off all of its Lings. Eris has roaches out. This game is going to be over, I think it is safe to say, as, yeah, Eris has done it, defended the cheese, shown us why it's the best game, and, yeah, that was a little bit underwhelming there, as, I will try and find a bit of a better game for the next one. I'm thinking for the next replay I'll cast, it is going to be something like, I think I'll probably do like a late game one, probably like BenBot versus SharkBot or something fun like that. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you do want to see, or if you're a bot author and you have bot games to recommend that are good ones to cast, feel free to send them my way. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for tuning on in.